Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
And that's breaking news in from Detroit's west side. One person dead, 2 others rushed to the hospital after gunfire erupts on the Southfield Freeway service drive. Off the top tonight at 11, the victims ended up crashing at a gas station where the gunman continued to shoot into their car.
It happened right off the Southfield Freeway near West 7 Mile Road. Jermont Terry is live at the gas station tonight. Jermont, you've learned this is a green light station.
I did, Kimberly, and I actually had a chance to look at that video from this green light business. It clearly shows a black car that was getting chased down 7 Mile here, and in the process, another vehicle, SUV, right behind it. Now, when that when that sedan turned onto the service drive here, it lost control, crashing right into that pole. But if you look off on the northbound entrance of the service drive, you see many, many gun casings. That's all came from one car, one SUV, and potentially 2 gunmen firing, trying to kill all 3 people inside. A group of people in 2 different vehicles started to argue on Westmoreland just off 7 Mile. It's unclear if the words were exchanged inside a house, on the street, or while the men were in their vehicles. But we do know the first of several shots went off here.
It said pow, 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 pow. About 9 or 10 shots, loud, extremely loud shots.
Neighbors took cover while 3 men involved in the argument jumped into a black car.
Then I seen the car speed down the street. And it was hard to tell what kind of car it was. It was just a little black car. It was going as fast as hell down the street.
Those men jumped into a black Impala, and right on their tail an SUV with the gunman right behind them. The investigation shows some men in the SUV chased the black Impala down 7 Mile heading east, and when it crossed Southfield Freeway, the black Impala lost control and crashed into a pole. This image from a surveillance video shows 2 men hanging out of the SUV, and they opened fire, then riddled that car with bullets with a high-powered weapon.
One of the gentlemen is deceased. That was the driver of the vehicle, and the 2 other gentlemen in the hospital right now.
And at this hour, there's no word on the 2 other people that were inside that black Impala. We do know, again, just rushed to the hospital. Tonight, we have 1 person dead, and Detroit police, they are actively searching for the people, those gunmen inside that SUV. Unclear on the exact make of that SUV. Looks to be a GMC, but DPD looking at that video that they are not releasing tonight, hoping to catch these individuals. That's very latest. Reporting live on the city's west side, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
And if you know something, say something. Speak up. Okay, Jermont, thank you.
Brooks Patterson's funeral hasn't even happened yet, but the jockeying to be appointed to his job has reached such a fever pitch. The Patterson family has now gone public with how distasteful they find the whole process. And they're not alone. Mara McDonald live in Waterford tonight. Mara, there are quite a few scenarios here that could play out.
Devin, there are, and it all boils down to this. Will the Oakland County Board of Commissioners vote to appoint someone to fulfill the rest of Patterson's term, which would be about a year? Or if the Board of Commissioners does nothing for the next 30 days, it would trigger a special election in the spring, and the voters would decide. All the bad feelings really started bubbling over on Tuesday at Patterson's public viewing. Treasurer Andy Meisner going public with his anger over how the Board of Commissioners was choosing a successor.
The fix was in. I thought that it was very important to call for openness and transparency.
Meisner has already said he's running for executive. He isn't the only one. Chair of the County Board of Commissioners, Dave Woodward, has been lobbying to be appointed executive and wants to run as well. Both men are Democrats. Multiple sources confirm Woodward, who is well liked, had lined up the votes, both Democrat and Republican, and originally the board was going to vote him in tonight. When Meisner complained, the board then decided to hold the vote next week on the day of Patterson's funeral.
He spent 45 years of his life in his county trying to make it a better place, and they can wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks before they go and replace him.
Patterson's children were disgusted, his daughter Mary Margaret saying, quote, "This heartless play for power is unforgivable and has offended the Patterson family. Our father has earned and deserves more respect than this." She's not alone. The way this whole process is being handled and the Meisner v. Woodward battle isn't playing very well.
You know, this tacky approach that they're taking would be very offensive. I mean, this is someone who just passed. They could use 30 days before they even have to do something, and to do it, you know, originally on the day of his funeral, I mean, that's incredibly disrespectful.
Back here live, the Board of Commissioners has taken so much flack over this decision. It has now decided to move that meeting to the day after Patterson's funeral. Now, does Dave Woodward still have the votes necessary to be appointed as the interim or placement, county executive? That remains to be seen. Likely yes, but there's a week to go here and things can change. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
And Mara, you and I were talking earlier this afternoon about these rumors running around about potential lawsuits over how this has been handled.
So that is possible, but not probable. Andy Meisner tells me tonight he's not planning on suing anybody. He has no litigation ready to go. Now, that said, there are some other parties who have watched how this has gone down at the board and are not pleased with the level of transparency that they see here.
Yeah.
So stand by, Devin. We'll see.
We sure will. All right, Mara. Well, the temperature's dropping down into the 50s tonight.
Yeah, kind of nice for the start of football, I guess.
Well, I guess the one good thing about the start of football.
Let's check in with Ben. The humidity, the lack of it going to last through the weekend, Ben?
It will, Kim, and that is the one good thing about football. We'll let Bernie deal with this a little bit later on. I don't want to say anything more about it. 71 at Metro right now, but we're already into the 50s in Ann Arbor, and with that lack of humidity, it's really going to allow those temperatures to drop tonight. Bupkis on the radar, and that's the way things are going to continue through the upcoming weekend, but this could start to become a problem. Drought monitor showing there are places that are abnormally dry, or what we call the pre-drought, mainly in our north zone and also parts of our south zone. So if we don't get some rain in here quick, that could be a problem that gets even worse as we go forward in the next several days. Temperatures starting in the 50s tomorrow morning, on our way to the mid-70s in the afternoon and into the 80s in the afternoon, but without that humidity, it's going to feel a lot different. We'll talk more about your weekend and see how long this stretch can possibly last coming up. Devin?
All right, Ben. Now to a story that's been getting a lot of attention on clickondetroit.com tonight because the video is astonishing. It shows a dog basically being used as a weapon during a fight in a Roseville neighborhood. That vicious fight from yesterday involving teenagers, children, and at least one adult. Some say this melee amounted to a racist attack. Others defend the use of the dog as self-defense.
The dog did its part. I don't care how anybody looks at it. The dog was defending its family. That's what the dog did, and that's the bottom line. It did what it was supposed to do.
The actions of the individual that had the dog may or may not result in criminal charges, but as in most cases, we want to conduct a thorough investigation before action of placing someone under arrest.
Both parties involved in the fight are blaming the other side. Roseville police say it is all still under investigation tonight.
The man in the center of the serial killer investigation will now be going to trial for sexually assaulting a 51-year-old Detroit woman. A judge deciding today that there is enough evidence to bring D'Angelo Martin's case to trial after hearing emotional testimony from the victim inside the courtroom today.
Someone ran from behind and grabbed me.
What's going through your mind at the time that you're getting choked at?
I'm about to die. And I overpowered him, and I went back, and I just stuck him. And then I went back again, and I stuck him again.
How did you get out of there?
I jumped out the window. I jumped through it. I dived out of there.
Martin has yet to be charged in any of the murders relating to the serial killer investigation, but remains the only suspect.
Hamtramck Public Schools holding a public meet and greet tonight to welcome their newest superintendent. Jalila Ahmed is the first Muslim woman in the nation, in fact, to serve as superintendent for a public school district. Ahmed has more than 2 decades of experience serving as a school resource teacher and principal during her tenure.
Vice President Mike Pence is rescheduling his visit to Detroit. Pence was originally scheduled to speak in front of the Detroit Economic Club this week. The vice president now plans to visit Monday, August 19th to speak at the Motor City Casino Hotel. Missing for 52 years, the remains of a pilot killed in action finally come home.
And it became an emotional tribute at an airport involving his son. We'll have the story in a moment.
And trouble at a Walmart when a man drives a golf cart into the store. See how this wild ride finally ended.
But coming up first, a Michigan police officer under investigation tonight after a disturbing discovery inside his home.
The realtor, my wife, was still walking up the stairs. So she said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, this is a KKK house. Let's go.
What was found inside the officer's home that has him off the job next.
And if you're just joining us, we're getting an update on the breaking news that we first brought you at the beginning of this newscast. Take a look here. These are surveillance pictures of the suspects and their vehicle, wanted in that triple shooting on Detroit's west side that left one person dead. 2 others were injured.
This started with an argument in a neighborhood on Westmoreland or 7 Mile. It ended at this gas station on 7 Mile on the Southfield Freeway. A black Impala crashed. 2 men in the SUV unleashed this rain of gunfire. So far, no arrests for police. We'll keep updating it.
Tomorrow at 5, he's a native Detroiter and NBA star.
But my passion and my love has always been for my community and my neighborhood.
Over the course of his career, Derek Coleman schooled more than a few folks, but now he's teaching a different kind of lesson.
Giving local kids a major assist.
I'm learning sportsmanship.
But this camp is about much more than basketball.
They're dreamers also. We got to teach them to keep continuing to dream.
See how he's passing them lessons that reach beyond the court.
Lead by example.
Tomorrow on Local 4 News at 5.